Welcome on back, everybody. WildeWilly here. I think this is episode 5 of our Get OP in the DLC walkthrough. We finished up the last episode by going through the ancient ruins of Rao, running through to the Church of the Bud main entrance right outside Ramina. Let's go run back down and grab past threads. We'll do that first. A couple of other things to point out. What we're going to be doing this episode is we're going to be running through the forges. We'll get as many as we can in this episode. And again, I ain't fighting anything. We're just running through and grabbing smithing materials. That's what I'm after. Because like I promised you guys, I want you to be able to get another somber weapon to max. We just picked up another somber 9 right here in the Shadow Keep back section. And then a couple things to recap. There were a couple of forager brutes that we passed by. I passed by one here, right on the tip. Like I said, this is where you go inside the cave and run up to get into the church district, or in the tunnel rather, but you can kind of come around the side and hop, and he's all the way at the tip there. Then there is another one that we're going to visit on the way to the forge. The forge is there. There's another one that's right out here. We'll go see that one. And then in the last episode as well, when we went through the church to grab the 2 Scadutree fragments before I ran from the invader, there's the one over here that we had to drop the warming stone for to heal it on up. So if you quit out your game and load it back in and can interact with it and get it, great. If you don't care, don't worry about it. That's also great. But if you want to run back over here and just grab that, interact with it, and get its cookbook, you can do that as well. I don't remember if it drops its cookbook or not if more dies. So I will, do some research on that. But anyway, we are going to proceed back down the tunnel, and we are grabbing test thread spears, and then we're getting out. We just want to rest. We come down here. We should turn to the right. Remember, there are the test thread guys. Where is it? That should be it. There it is. And then I'm just riding back up. If they don't kill me. So anyway, I died. 20,000 runes, rip. But we're just gonna proceed along. Let's head back over here. We want to go to Morth Ruins again. And we are heading out here for Forager Bro, because he's kind of on the way, and then we're going to be going into this forge. So let's warp on over. Whoops. Warp on over and get started. We're heading out west. And that's the encampment that we grabbed the Scadutree fragment earlier. We're gonna go past a little pond thingy here. No deep water. There is a lobster. Same rules apply for lobsters as in the base game. You don't want to get sniped by their breath attack, their water jet attack. It's like a railgun. Swing around here to the right. My lantern, because we're going to be... We have the nice little loot to grab. Post Cold War 7. Forger Cookbook 1. Brood Cookbook 1. An Aquinstone Firefly. And there are some misbegottens out here. The little harpy ladies, but we should be able to just run right past them. And make sure you descend this ladder. Don't go jumping off. All right, now we are in the ruins of Starfall Pass. And basically, you want to be just there are smithing materials. There's a smithing 6, 5 smithing 3s, another smithing 5, and we're going to run across. We gotta kill the misbegotten over there by the lever. Another damage set. Love the lock-on. That one's gonna go fight a lava blob. Once we open this up, and there's a couple more loots we can grab. We have to drop down and fight another one. We get the Smith Script Spear. Where is it? There we go. Let's try and... Whoop. Well, that was the world's worst plunge attack, but... Oh, now thanks for the rescue. I got reach. So another smithing 3, and a couple more loots here that we can grab. Smithing 2, smithing 3. Okay, so normally the little harpies win. There are a couple loots that I'm going to grab over here just so that I don't have to grab them again on the way back. That's where we're going to proceed. We got this guy hiding behind the pillar waiting to ambush. So don't worry about the smithing 2, just roll. Got a couple of slimes that are going to drop. One of them's going to... Again, we have some heft, so that's going to stagger us. I'm going to fully heal up. There should be another one of those golem things in here by the doorway. So grab the Somber 7 and get the 3, and then we're just retreating back down the hallway. And there's a ladder up here to the left. That's how we want to proceed. Unfortunately, all this stuff is very slow moving, so we should be able to just run along and do our thing. And if we can run past stuff, we're safe. So this room, we have that guy chucking at us. We got this guy cutting his little lava blob like it's a pet. We got a Somber 8, and then we're just gonna hop up here. We gotta take care of this one. All right, and that's it. Like the Somber 8, that's really what we were after. That guy is going to be chucking magma all over the floor. The slime might come up here and try to come after us, but, you know, we are just going to proceed. Okay, so we come in here. That room is a trap. There are a bunch of blobs in the ceiling, and if you run through, like, you can grab this, but if you try to go further, they're all going to drop down if you go all the way into the room. And then you got to fight them all. Let's see if we can grab this. Alright, and that triggers them all to drop. Oh, one drop behind us. That's not helpful. Alright, now hopefully... Oh, geez, okay. So yeah, that's... this is a good room to have a weapon with Hortbra Stomp, and you can just kind of bottleneck them all and kill them. Now I'm curious what's over there. I don't know if I'm that curious. We'll see how this goes. If I can just R1 fan my way in there. Kill most of them. Because they also drop smithing mats. Come on, swing. Alright, so what do we get? These are all going to be lower level, but... Oh, jeez, one more. Or he was already wounded and I just ignored him. Sorry, buddy. 3, smithing talisman, okay. I thought there was something else worth getting in here. Because I remember the smithing talisman, that might have been it. So anyway, proceed along. And we want to drop down. There's going to be a pathway. There's going to be another one of the fire slugs behind us. This is what I was after. This guy right there. There are 2 smithing 8s. And there's my fire slug. So let's keep him down. This guy... Hopefully we can just sneak in there and grab that. It's only a 6. So again, no worries if you don't get it. Hopefully that didn't aggro them. We have the... original fire slug that the harpy was supposed to beat down there chucking stuff at us, so that's not good. And then we have the golem there, but anyway, that dropped the wall down there. I missed one of those. I'm just going to proceed. Okay, smithing 3. So when we come back, we're going to pull this lever, and that's going to raise that up, and we want to I'm gonna kill him because he's not doing me any favors. I don't want to have to deal with him when we come back out. Alright, so like I said, this is the part of the wall that goes up and down. We need to proceed along. That is the lever. You're going to pull the lever and you're going to get on that wall section and you're going to ride it up. We have 2 of the golems in here, so we're going to run in here and grab the circ. And then there's one more piece of loot that we're going to grab over there. And then there's one more piece of loot that we're going to grab over there. And again, none of this stuff is terribly important. I'm just showing you what's here and grabbing it. And then we're going to grab this. And we're going to come out here. And hopefully... Yep, they're going back the other way. Nice. And that's it. That's this forge. And what's nice about the forges is this is the end. We get the ancient meteoric greatsword and we get an ancient dragon smithing stone. And then we can warp back to the entrance. Now remember, there are the 2 more like harpy misbegottens right beyond the entrance. So when you come out here, they are on either side of that thing. So just get out here and you want to warp. And we are going to warp back over here to Hasselfront, and then we're going to be heading down here. This is another forge. That is our next destination. So let's make it happen. This path is going to start to look, it should look very familiar by now. We started from here, we come out here, we turn left, run past this guy and his burning dog, and instead of going that way like we did the other 2 times, we're going to proceed down here. And just go past these guys. Then there are going to be a bunch of blood fiends fighting a bunch of Mesmer soldiers. And you can get involved in that if you want. You can stand around and watch them kill each other and get a few runes. Again, we are not here for them. We are headed for the forge. And when we get in there and rest at the site of the grace, I'm going to see where we're at in terms of materials. This is more for the kind people who followed me on one of the walkthroughs, and we don't have all the smithing bell bearings because we haven't even been into the capital yet. We just bum rushed getting into the DLC, and that did not require us to go into the capital, so we didn't. So Scadutree, now we need 3. We got that. And let's see where we're at with smithing mats. Inventory. So I can get an infinite number of these. I have plenty of 5s. I can always go back to the sealed tunnel on the Altus Plateau and farm the miners to get more 5s. Still short on some 6s, 7s, and 8s. We just need 1 more 8. So I'm probably going to have to go back to Mogwin's Palace, because I know that there are some in there, and I know that there are 7s coming up in the Bog Rift Fort. Like I said, the previous episode, there's a lizard-tongued Black Knight who drops either the shield or the hammer. I forget which. I think it's the shield. And beyond him is a chest that has more smithing 7s. And then the Fort of Reprimand, we can go through there, and I know we can get 6s there. So we're all good there. Now let's see how we're doing on our sombers. We can still get infinite 1, 2, 3s, and 4s, because we did get the somber bell bearing 4. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, so we just would need an ancient somber, and I believe we're going to get it on either this forge or the last one. So again, proceed along. This is an even lower level one, so like there's an area that you can backtrack through, and you can just hop down here. There's an area that you can backtrack through to grab some stuff. There's a golem over there. That's supposed to be like your first introduction to them. And that was me getting caught by the spiky fireball. I got a smithing 3 for my trouble. And this is the Crucible tree set. There's another one. I was gonna say, let me look up before I run into the room. I felt like it was over there, but didn't want to make a fool of myself. Smithing Stone 1, Smithing Stone 2. So this one not as important. We are just kind of running through and just scarfing it up because free is free, and you know, we'll get some more valuable stuff later. So this room, we want to drop down here and drop down here. Grab another 3. Book. And then we're gonna proceed along up here. There's some loot that we can grab down there. Again, none of it's important. The important piece of loot is right there. That's what we want to grab more than anything. So mind the gap, hop across. Grab this. And that's 7 Smithing Stone 3s. So this guy's gonna drop. Let's see if I can get in there. And before he drops down. And there's gonna be one behind me. Let's go take that one out before we come back up. And again, just kind of miscellaneous loots at this point. There's a guy over there. Can't really see it. There's another golem down there. It's a little too far down. Oh, and that guy's coming up the stairs for us. So we can come over here and grab this. Smithing 4. And then we can come over here and we can drop in behind. And you see there's a couple that we can just grab. There's a loot over there that we can grab. And the gimmick with these guys is that you're supposed to hit them in that little spot behind them. You can see that they are not weak to strike, or they are weak to strike, but they aren't weak to slash, or whatever we're doing with the Bloodhound's Fang. We come over here. Here's our little, lots of little slugs looking for us. Grab that one. Grab this. I think there's stuff over here. You can climb all the way back up. Yep, one there. And I believe Bro is looking at one over here. So we can just, he turns around. Now I'm getting ganged up on, I'm out of here. So again, like I said, the only thing that you really need to grab out of here, for those following the walkthrough from earlier and, you know, wanting to get the proper numbers of 6, 5, 6, 7s, and 8s, was that one that we got right over there. All right, so this is a ladder. This, you do, you know, this is one you need to descend, because that drop will kill you. Here, pull the lever. Pull the lever, pull the lever, pull the lever. It's gonna bring that down so we can climb it up and get out of here. There's another slug here behind us that's gonna drop. That's where we could have come from, but we would have gotten down here, and then there would have been no way to proceed unless we had gone through that upper zone and pulled the lever. So this guy is awake. Let's see if we can't run over here and grab some stuff. Mr. Dagger, you're doing a terrible job of hitting me, sir. I'm almost offended. Oof. Good show. Alright, a couple slimes are going to drop. We're just running all the way up to the top. I would recommend killing them because, you know, if you try and hop past them, you can fall off and die. If you do get past them, they'll chuck shit behind you and you can fall off and die. You could probably just roll that. Okay, and then hop off over here, and we are done with our second forge. Alright, that gets us the Amble Hammer, and then an Ancient Dragon. And now we're going to tackle the third one, and that's where we'll wrap up the episode. So we should have all of our smithing stones, short of my walkthrough peeps having to go back with me and dip into Mogwin's Palace real quick. Let's do that. Wrong one. just warped. And we want to go over here. Dynasty Mausoleum, and we are heading back into the mausoleum. So once we get in there, I'm going to summon my Mimic. I'm going to buff up. We probably have to... Oh, look, there's Boris. Summon sign. Alright, so summon Mimic. Do whatever you do to buff up. I'm just going to do Flame Grip Strength. And then our goal is we are going to run straight ahead and we're going to turn right along this wall here. And it's going to... Hopefully we just spawn in one over here. Where is it? Where's my stuff? Alright, I might have to go further down. Now I'm all turned around. Alright, well, somebody just spawned. Come on. It's down here. Alright, that guy spawned in. Alright, so we're going to take him down real quick. There's fat rolling in that lava, whatever, that blood spell. Wait for that to dissipate a little bit. Ooh, that's not good. I was just going to say, I'm going to proc a bleed on myself. I'm going to heal up. Up again. Got to refill. And there's one more around to the right. I didn't go far enough down. Alright, so that spell went away. That's what we want. And then there's going to be another one that's going to summon up. These are 3 smithing stone aids, which is the missing piece of the puzzle there. And then Nick pretty much took care of that one on his own, so thank you, buddy. And then we're just going to leave. And I'm getting turned around again. That was that fake area. So you want to proceed along straight until the one spawns in and kill him, and then proceed to the right, and you should see the shiny. So if you turn right and it's not there, you're in the wrong place. Sorry about that. Anybody who's following me, not terribly efficient. Now we can hop back over to Shadow Realm, and we are going to head over here to the Rao base, and our last forge is over here. Basically what we want to do is we want to come over here kind of by this pond and circle around this way. You can come up the road, but there's a bunch of bullshit you're going to have to fight head on. A bunch of Mesmer soldiers, and once you get past them, I think there are a couple of dogs. And then there are a bunch of misbegottens, including one of the big ones. So let's make it warning. We're getting late in the day. It's going to be... Watch, it'll be pitch black and raining in the morning, too. Yep. And this is why I wish there were more... Where's my mark? We want to head north. I got another mark again somewhere. This is why I wish there were more lightning weapons in the base game. I know you can do a lightning infusion once you get the Sanctified Wet Blade in Lindell. But again, we haven't gone into Lindell. So I'm just gaining elevation. I'm running past everything. There's our forge. We're just coming around at it from this side. Because if we come up the road, there's a bunch of stuff. Now we should be good to just proceed in here. And we are. There's some other loot you can grab. There are a couple of shinies around the backside, like over there, that you would need something, a spell, something that actually does damage, more damage than a kukri, just, you know, to kill them. Because they don't really drop down. One of them will run across the top of the building. Again, I don't remember what they are, but a couple of them are good. So again, we're just running through this one. Let me get my bearings. Where am I going? The ladder? Where's the ladder's over here? Nope, it's just the stairs. All right, did I put my lantern on? Visibility's a little better. Another flamey guy. Okay, and it takes 3. Alright, so smithing 5, so we can already see that this one's better in terms of what we're getting. We can drop here. Little loot in front of us. Wasn't trying to be facetious when I said that. So there is a golem in there, and there is more stuff down there that you can grab. I believe there's like slugs down here. Those slugs, it's the next spot. So we can just grab these and then hop back up here. You hop across. You can see it waiting there to ambush us. Again, I don't remember what's in there. And then you want to kind of aim to one side of the chain and hop across. Don't aim directly at the chain. And there's more stuff over there that you can grab. You see the loot trying to entice you over there. There's a furnace golem right back there that you can't see. And then there's the furnace golem there. And down there are where the slugs are. So there's a bunch of stuff that you can grab if you want to come back. But again, not here for that. Just want to hop across here. And we're going to run into this next room. So we have another golem petting his pet slug. And there's a rampway up to the right. Where there's another one, and we want to run up there. And it's going to be a little dodgy. This is another like ambush situation. And that's what we're after. We got those two, and we got the Dirk. Grab that. Heal up. And then we want to go across, and we're going to hop down. Oop, this is probably going to kill me. Nope, not far enough. Good. Alright, so we made it down, and I'm drinking the wrong flask. I wonder. So let's heal on up. I think there's another loot out here. These guys are fairly safe to take care of. And we want to take care of... I don't remember if they're on our way back or not. So let's just be safe. Grab that. Let's go forward. Again, not amazing, but not worthless. All right, then we want to come over here and proceed along. Climb up here. There's a slug that one dude was petting. A couple more here. They're dead. Gonna proceed along. And this room, I believe, is clear. Quick double check. Here's our lever. All right, and then we want to. That's gonna invert the pipe again. You see it shifting, and then we can hop over here. And then we can hop over here. And this is where we dropped off of the pipe to begin with. That's the trap, the slugs down there. That's where we ran in to grab our shield. And then we're going to proceed along down here. One more shiny here that we grab. Number 8 and a smithing 6. And then you want to very carefully... I always end up like yeeting myself. Clear off the thing. And we got one more slug to kill. And the Smith script. Great hammer. It's actually pretty fun. We use strength boys who want a ranged weapon. That's a good option. And again, like don't aim for the chain, but hop on and run up. And you want to run over to here, and again, there's a little bit of a gap you gotta hop over, and then we're gonna go up that ladder. I just want to verify that there's nothing here. I think it's just the one loot right there. I think 6. And this, I'm pretty sure it's gonna give us Taylor the Golem, and then another ancient dragon smithing. I'm gonna have to look and see where we can get the somber from the last one. But anyway, let's warp out of here. The last thing I want to do is we'll do a smithing stone update in the next episode. Let me just get out of here. I guess I'm just gonna run outside and we'll warp back to the round table, see if I can catch a level, and then we will proceed in the next episode.